Hey guys, Kev here, and I want to do a quick review on the Jack Wolf Knives Gunslinger Jack. And the reason I want to do this is because I did an unboxing, I did a disassembly / bearing swap, and I haven't really done a full review, and I wanted to just give my thoughts after carrying this for like 4 or 5 days now, and really enjoying it, guys. I have a couple of gripes, but they're pretty much nitpicks, and that kind of goes with anything. But let's talk about this knife. So the Gunslinger Jack is should be out at this point by the time you see this, and hopefully it's doing very well, because this is what everybody was clamoring for. You know, they loved the design language and everything of Jack Wolf knives, but they wanted a locking knife, right? And I personally am the opposite. I want more slip joints, but that's okay. We got a locking knife, and I really like it. Spoiler alert, I am ordering a second one. I'm already trying to figure that out. I want one of those Fanatic Edge ones that has been Cerakoted. So they took these and they Cerakoted the bolsters and everything. So you can get 3, I think there's 3 that have black Cerakote, like the purple, the green, and the pink maybe, and then they have 2 that are sniper gray Cerakoted, and that's like the blue and the gold, and I want the blue one, so that's what I'm gonna go after. And I just think it's a, you know, very unique knife. We've seen these sort of traditional front flippers before, but we've never seen Jack Wolf do it, and their level of detail and design just is above the rest, you know. I love Pena, and I love what Pena's doing, but this does not sit in the same realm as Pena. For me, this is a different product. I think it's better, but you know, some would argue Pena's stuff is equally as good. Just to me, they're separate, right? What I love about this is that he kept the same refinement from the slip joints and just brought it over to a bolster lock. And I'm freaking impressed that the first time around with the locking knife, it's this good. It's really impressive, honestly. So you can get this knife. It comes with the clip, and then it'll also come with a filler tab wrapped up in the towel, so make sure you pay attention when you unwrap that. And you can put a little purple filler tab in here. It'll just cut this part right here, and then you can put this in a slip if you want. He's selling slips from Northwoods Leatherworks. Shout out to Troy. And, of course, you can always hit up Troy to get slips made. Personally, this has a clip, and it works great, and I'm just going to carry it with a clip. I don't need a slip for this. I do have some knives that are locking that have slips, but they don't come with clips. So, you know, you're kind of forced to do that. And I like those, but this has a clip, and it works great, so I'm going to rock it. My first nitpick on the knife is the centering. The centering has been bugging me since day one. I've learned to let it go with the slip joints, but with a locking knife, I want my knife dead center. It's just a OCD thing. You guys have watched the channel long enough to know that. And this guy is just off to that side. I did swap the skiffs out. You can watch that video, and I thought it was dead centered after that, and maybe it loosened up a little after I glued it. You can watch that whole shenanigans video where I almost glued the pivot shut loose. It was a nightmare, but I got her done. And we are glued, and we are solid. It has not walked. There's no play at all. And I have this action. So, no play, great action. I'm not going to mess with it, but the centering did come off just like... I mean, I know it's barely, guys. And it's kind of weird, I'll be honest. In some lighting, it's centered. Like, if I'm downstairs in my house with like, just normal lighting in the house, I don't know, it looks centered. And I think it has something to do with the backspacer being anodized like that, so when the light shines through and you see that purple backspacer, it somehow like reflects to where it looks centered. Look, see? It's freaking dead centered. But then you get rid of the light and it looks like it shifted over to this side. It's a very peculiar thing. But personally, it's just a mental thing I need to get over. This is not really a big issue. You know, not every knife is going to be perfectly centered. And then the other question is, what is centered to you? I just showed you that it looked kind of centered with the lighting. So is it centered, right? This is not a big deal. This is just something that I wanted to talk through because I have this OCD brain thing. And yeah, I just like to be honest and talk about the whole knife the way I see it. So that's something that I am letting go as I move forward. And I'm convincing myself it is centered. So try not to mess with that in the comments. Just tell me it's centered. All right. Love the color on here. The purple matching everything is just beautiful. I love the blue one too. The ones with the different colors, I think it's like the gold and the pink, they throw me off a little bit. I think I would have rather seen those be like more subdued. And then the green one is cool because it's all green. I'm just not really a big green carbon fiber guy. I would have loved to have seen a subdued version, like a black camo with black clip, you know, and backspacer. I think that would have been smart because there's going to be a lot of people out there that don't want color. And it would have been good to appease those people. I don't want to see micarta, but, you know, black camo and stuff, it still looks sick. Just a little bit more subdued. But you could always have it modded or whatever you wanted to do. So, yeah. Let's talk about it. The aesthetic on it is gorgeous. It is standard Jack Wolf. I mean, it honestly looks like a slip joint open. Looks like you could just, you know, go to close it. Oh, wait, there's a lock over here, right? So on this side, you have the bolster lock, very small bolster lock, and then you have the clip. And that's your indicator that it is not a slip joint. He did not mess with this line at all right here, which is one of my other nitpicks. I wish there was a little more lock bar access. Now, I've gotten used to it, and personally, it's fine. It's not like a deal breaker or anything. Again, nitpick. I can get in there, and now that I have it kind of tuned and set up to where it drops, it works extremely well that way. But you know, it's an adjustment at first. You're like, wait, how do I, you know? And if you do this, of course it's easy. It's not a problem. But if you're a nail dropper guy, it can be a little bit of a adjustment. But he did add in that chamfering and everything, and it works excellent. And he added this gap right here so that you don't pinch yourself as you disengage it, which is a very nice touch. So, yeah. Aesthetics, gorgeous. Ergos, really good. Sharpshooter jack, ergos. You just basically have, gun stock jack, ergos. You have the 2 fingers up front and the 2 fingers in the back, and they all wrap around, and it's extremely comfortable. It took me a minute to understand that when I first got the sharpshooter, and I've just learned with certain traditional patterns, the dog leg, the coffin shape, the gun stock, they just are comfortable even though they don't look like they would be. So extremely well done on the ergonomics. You can choke up, get behind that blade just like that. The cutting is top-notch Jack Wolf cutting. I mean, you have good stock and then a razor-thin full hollow grind. He did not shy away from the full hollow on a locking knife. So this is not a knife you want to pry with. It's not anything like that. But it is an excellent EDC knife. I've been carrying this for 4 or 5 days as my main blade, and it's been phenomenal. Getting into packages, all that kind of stuff. You got to get up a little higher for the tip, but it's a very very pokey tip, very thin, so it'll get in there real easy. Slice tape, all that good stuff. I've really enjoyed it. What else? The belt satin, as usual, freaking gorgeous. You have a long pull, which is nice and sharp on the edges. This is something I want to teach to Concept. So we're working on our Lush design with Concept, and I really want to have, I mean, it looks identical, right? Look at those long pulls. Very, very similar. But one has nice sharp edges, probably because of the full hollow belt satin. and the other is a little bit slicker. It's, you know, you got to get in there and dig in to give it the flick. It's just a little bit harder to flick, basically. And we've tried to reiterate we need it to be sharp and all that stuff, so that's a process. But this is perfect. I mean, it really catches your finger, and you're not going to miss it. So excellent long pull on there. Jimping. So the jimping runs from here up. It does not go up and around. I'm not sure how I feel about that. The last jimp ends here. Kind of nice if there's a jimp here and one behind. That way, if you do the roll or something and you slip, you still have a chance to grab it. Where now you kind of just slide over and then you're like, ow. But I will say that I've had really no issue with it. It can feel a little sharp when you're doing this because you're dragging across jimping. But I think it's fine. You just kind of line it up and pop it. I mean, I'm not the best at that move, and I've been doing it a lot with this knife. I am tearing up my finger quite a bit, but it's been really fun to do that. The front flip, excellent. There's just enough flipper tab there to give it a good pop. Personally, I don't know if I would raise that up just a touch, or again, add that jimping so you can get all the way at the top. Like now you can't go at the top because the jimp isn't there. You have to come down one, which puts you really close to the frame there. And so you have the tendency occasionally to kind of miss it or dog it a little bit. But once you get used to it, it's again, very, very good, very reliable. This one in particular has an excellent detent and fires out really nice, has great acoustics. That's another thing to talk about. The acoustics on this knife are bar none. I mean, they are phenomenal. If you listen to it close, it has a ting on the close because of the hollow grind. And then on the open, just thwacks out really, really well. Occasionally, you'll get a ting when you disengage. Like if you clear this at the right point, it'll kind of ting off of that blade a little bit. Very, very cool. I can reverse flick it. I can slow roll it. I can roll back it. I can front flip it. I can reach around it. And I can thumb flick it in the right instance. It's just, it's easier when I'm standing. There you go. When I'm standing and I kind of have it aimed down, then it flicks better. I do urge you to be careful with that, because if you go to flick it and miss and come down on that, Jack Wolf knives do not fuck around with the edge. They are sharp as shit and thin as shit. That fucker will go deep. So just, if you're going to thumb flick it, make sure you're careful and you give it enough gas to get out. And yeah, like, I'm just a little weary of it. So I try to avoid it. I really just reverse flick. And then I love this roll move. Getting pretty good at it. It's a lot easier off camera, but I'm getting pretty good at it. And then I obviously like the thumb flick, and I occasionally will do the reach around, but it's not really my go-to move. And if I'm handling lefty, I go for that reverse flick all day. I don't really do this one lefty because it's hard without a clip, but the thumb or the front flip is really good. So it works really well lefty. I harped on this before, but I just wish he had done a reversible clip. Just put the damn filler tab here. Forget about the clipless carry, you know, or just put 2 in there, whatever. And give me a filler tab here and give me lefty carry. I would have liked it. I've been carrying it right-handed, and it has been no problem. So it's not really an issue. And left-handed, this thing just works. I mean, the bolster lock's great. There's no issue reverse flicking it. There's no reason you should be like up here on a lock bar. And even then, there you go. You can still fire it. You know, you can reach around it lefty. Again, you can do this. You just have to get off the, not be on, you don't have a clip to grab, so it's a little bit harder. But you can line that up and do it. So you have lots and lots of options. I'm sure you can do some weird shit too if you're a weirdo. Yeah, there you go. Friday night gas station. So this is the first Jack Wolf where I get to truly talk about this because it's a locking knife. This feels really good in the hand. And now you have that clip point kind of coming back, and you could, you know, you'd be filleting shit with this thing, though. I wouldn't really be using this for self-defense, but hey, you could, right? Yeah, I mean, the action on the close out of the box is non-existent. At least this one that I handled, it doesn't drop. It kind of stays open, and then you either shake it, you know, to get it to fall, and then close it with your other hand or finger or whatever, or you can shake. Once I got the skiffs in, cleaned everything, I'm pretty sure you could do it without the skiffs. Just clean everything in there, oil it because it comes dry. You can get it tuned to fall. I mean, this one falls, and then smooth shake down. Another thing that would really help that I would recommend is just putting a dot of KPL heavy, nano oil heavy, just KPL if that's all you have, on that detent ball. Just be careful, try not to get it to transfer to the lock face here. Just clean this off every once in a while because it will transfer over as you open and close it more. But that little bit of oil on the detent ball will help with the gritty sound when you're going through here. You'll hear this. It's very minimal, and it is smooth as butter. It's getting close to glassy at this point. If you watch my unboxing, you can see and hear that it's really rough there. So the more you carry this, the more you use it. If you put that oil on there to speed it along, it will break in, and it is a phenomenal action. I am extremely blown away with this knife, so much so that I've just raved about it for 17 minutes. It's first locking knife, man. Holy shit. Like, it's just that good. He keeps doing it. I don't know what else to say. So for me, nitpicks, centering, but that's kind of been a thing with Jack Wolfs, honestly. Their centering ratio is, I think with slip joints, it's not as big of a deal. But with locking knives, they should be centered. So that would be something I'd give the OEM as feedback is, hey, these need to be dead nuts on folding knives, for sure. But it's, again, a nitpick for me, and it's so damn close that I'm just being super OCD. And that's my problem. And then, a little bit of lock bar access. I go back and forth on this mentally. Like, I want to have it, but I also love the line. I love that it looks just like my sharpshooter, which I actually think is in my pocket. Yeah, I've been carrying these together just because I thought it would be fun. So there's the sharpshooter and the gunslinger. And you can see it has the same line here. And that's what he was going for. Doesn't have the filler tab. I'd love to see that too. And he changed this nail nick over to a long pull on both sides so that it is flickable for everybody. Otherwise, I mean, they're damn close. Once you flip it over, obviously you're going to have the lock. But you still keep that clean line. And I just, it's impressive that he transferred it to a locking knife that seamlessly, I mean, to be honest, he could have even gotten rid of the top flipper and went with the normal traditional look and just kept the flickability. I would have been fine with that. And then it would look even more like the traditional. So, yeah, just an excellent knife. I am really happy it came out well. Good job, Ben. It's light as shit, too. That's another thing you should know. It's very, very light. So let me know what you guys think down below. I will link all the places that these are available down there. And if you guys want to pick one up, you can. It always helps the channel if you use those links, but that is your call. The Gunslinger Jack is excellent. And I think, another thing that people have complained about is the price, but tell you what, they've been doing that since day one with Jack Wolfs. $300 for a slip joint, and now it's $350 for a locking knife. It's like, come on, pick your battle there. you're getting fat carbon, you're getting the same quality, right? But, you know, you have that extra money that goes into titanium clip, backspacer, and filler tab. And I think that's where that extra $50 goes, and I am perfectly fine with that, and I'm going to pay it for the other one I buy. So before you go telling me, oh, you get it for free, you can't talk about the price. Well, guess what? I've bought multiple of many of these, and at least one of probably all of them. So you, sir, can suck it. All right. I love you guys. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day, and I will catch you later.